I promise not to bully you.
Please don't, because if you bully me, we go head on. I don't give them that space. You try me, you serve it hot, I serve it hotter.
Fantastic. Maybe. Welcome yet again back to Stories of Significance. This time around, we host none other than Her Excellency, Judy Oricho. I don't think I have the honors to introduce her other than herself. She deserves that, isn't it? All right. Who are you? And I like your smile.
Thank you. My name is Judy Oricho. I'm a mother. I'm a mentor. I'm a motivational speaker. And above all, I'm a woman. Yes.
And you're complete.
I'm complete.
Okay, so as a mother, as a mentor, maybe you could take us through the journey, how you grew up and what inspired you to begin A We No Love Kenya. Then I get to know you better.
Great. Judy Oricho is a woman. I'd rather use the term woman, if not a lady. Is a woman who wears so many caps. So many. One, as I said earlier, I'm a mother. I run an organization called A We No Love Kenya, which is based in Busia County. I also work with the U.S. Institute for Diplomacy and Human Rights, which is based in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I'm a co-founder of the Young Women Founders Network here in Kenya. I'm a peace ambassador, global peace ambassador. I'm a tourism ambassador. And I'm certified in consulting human rights and anti-trafficking issues. And my journey began way back. Of course, as I grow, things change. I do a lot of things. If I may just start, because I started as a mentor, and this one was driven from my own story. We have all of us, actually even in Mombasa, we have issues of teenage pregnancies, school dropouts, teenage mothers, So I got pregnant at a very, very early age while I was in Form 2. It wasn't a sweet journey. It was a very, very painful journey. Because at some point I had to drop out of school, to nurse my pregnancy, then getting back to school. And we all know in our societies, it's not easy for a young person or for a lady dropping out of school and getting back to school again. So that is what inspires me, because where I am, I've beaten all odds. From a girl who was 13 years old getting pregnant to becoming an international or rather global figure, And
all this is happening from Busia County.
Not
the
really.
setup.
I was born and raised in Thika.
Okay.
Thika is in Central Province. That is where my parents used to work. So I was born and raised there. I went to Matu Memorial Girls, which is in Ukambani. And after I finished my school, I went to Dima College, which is in Nairobi. I'm a human resource by profession. So after that, I have somebody in my life whom I call my mother. Now she was the one who made me now to establish myself in Busia. Because this is my elder sister. That is where she's married. So after finishing school and having a baby, and they became two, and the life was just some sort of messed up. I mean, my life was. I always tell people my life story wasn't so good. But then I didn't stick into that life. So when I moved to Busia, I went to stay with my sister, and that is where I began this journey of just getting to know who Judy is and what does she want to do. I volunteered with some organization called Utoka Network, which is a Catholic-based organization. And actually, my mentor is the founder of Utoka Network. Right now, he's in Mombasa. He acts here. He's a priest. He's called Father John Webotsa. So Father mentored me, and I got to realize what Father was doing was actually helping people like me and other vulnerable children, not only teenage mothers or people who are dropped out of school, but even the vulnerable children within the community. So volunteering in Kutoka Network actually opened my mind, and I was like, God, I'm a victim of teenage pregnancy, and I'm seeing Father helping young girls. I'm seeing Father picking kids from streets, placing them in schools, and they excel, they are graduates. You can't even tell if somebody was picked from the street. And I said, you know what I want to do? I want to pick this journey, start just talking to young girls who've gotten pregnant and lost hope. Just use my story to inspire them. And that's how I started. Yeah.
How has it been so far?
So far, it's been very, very sweet. While I was working for Kutoka Network, I was coached by Judy, an international organization, of course, And that is where I got the experience that I'm currently using to run different initiatives that I do. And I want to say that it's been very impressive because I've been talking to girls, I've been taking them to school, I pick them from, home, umepata mimba, you just want to be there. I take you, if you want to really go to school, I will make sure that you go to school. So I've been able to talk to over 25,000 girls in this country. And for the girls who I've been able to take, up to date, I've been able to take 155 girls through education. And I have success stories. I have those who have graduated from Strathmore University, those who have graduated from Kenyatta University, Egerton. And when it comes to education, because education is the cornerstone of all that I do, I don't only focus on girls.
Yeah.
I also focus on boys. I also support boys to go to school because education is only the stabilizer, social stabilizer, So that is what I believe in. So I can say so far the journey has been sweet. And when I see young girls call me mama, when I see young girls just say that, hey Judy, when I see these young girls graduate and come back and tell me, Judy, can I work for you? I really feel good. Yeah.
So I'm interested to ask this question. While you are in or on that journey of being a teenage mother, how did you handle the pressure from the outside?
Now, I want to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
I've told you that everything that I do is based on my story. It wasn't easy. One thing I was chased from my dad, said, wewe umeleta aibu nyumbani. I was one of those kids in a home, kuna hongana ule mwenye daddy anasemanga, mtoto wangu, I really have hopes. I don't know why, parents, So I was one of those kids that my dad really believed in me because my mom had died. My mom died while I was young. Actually, I was in class 8, I think. Yeah, class 8, I was in. So my mom had died. So I was being raised by a single dad who was almost 99% of his time was working. And we didn't have anybody who we could, guide us and, what I'm talking about. Like, my dad would be like, "Mumefunga shule, munafungua lini? Bring your fee structure. Shule inafunguliwa lini? Here is your money order. Muende shule." So it was a tough one while I got pregnant because my dad felt like I really disappointed him to an extent of even chasing me out of home. I stayed out of our home for almost 6 months. During that 6 months, I had a cousin sister who used to live in Nairobi. As I told you, we were born and raised in Thika. So during this time, actually, I had not even known that I was pregnant because I got defiled. So while my dad realized, actually, My dad had not known that I was pregnant, but I was expelled because I went to a mission school. So when I was expelled from school, the teacher did not indicate why I was expelled. And having a dad who works like 24 hours, anakuja after maybe some time, anapata barua, anasema mimi I don't have time ya kwenda kutetea mtu kwa shule. Kama umekosa huko kwa shule, shauri yako. So that is how I went. So during this time is when I went to Nairobi to my cousin's sister, who happened to be a doctor. She's late, may her soul rest in peace. So I started developing these, sicknesses. Nausea, I'm vomiting, I don't want to eat, I'm just moody. And being a medic, she conducted some tests on me. After that, she was like, hata ya kuniambia niko na mimba. The next thing she did, alinichukua kanipeleka kwa matatu za kwenda Thika. Nirudi kwetu.
Wow.
Na huko kwetu ni kwenye unasikia nimefanya nini?
Of course.
So I didn't know what was going on. So kufika, akatuma another cousin brother of mine kukuja kuambia daddy kwa nini amenirudi? Amenirudi. Daddy kusikia hivyo. Sasa wewe umeleta aibu kwa familia. And stigmatization that comes with, it wasn't easy. Actually, I went through stress and depression because nobody would even want me to associate with their children. Yaani ni kama ukisalimia hata mtu hivi venye tumekaa na wewe utamwambukiza hiyo mimi. So I went through a lot. And at some point, being a parent is just a parent. So my dad took me back in. Akaniambia wewe kaa hapo na hiyo mimba zako na watoto wako, ukimaliza kuzaa ujipa. Mimi hata mambo ya shule nimemalizana. Kama uliamua kwenda kushika mimba badala ya kusoma, wewe kuwa bibi. So I get back to my son, but I didn't know that my high school teacher was following me very closely. I was one of those students in school that kama siko shule kila mtu anajua Judy yuko shule. I was a prefect, I was engaged in so many activities. I was disciplined. So I didn't know that my teacher was actually following my case very closely. So the moment I gave back, to my surprise, after some 2 months, I see school bus coming. Na mimi najiuliza, sasa hao wamenifuata tena mpaka hapa nyumbani. Kwani ni nini yao tena nilitoka nayo? So my teacher comes. It was lunchtime. I just finished eating. And I was with my dad in the house. So my teacher says, I've come for my daughter. I'm leaving you with your grandson. Whatever you want to do with your grandson, whether unataka kumkula ama unataka kumtupa, that one I don't care. Me, I'm going with my daughter. And that is how I went back to school.
Wow.
And that is how I did my, Form 4. And that is how I finished my school. So it was a journey full of challenges, full of mixed reactions, but then it ended up very sweet. Yeah.
Wow. This also tells us that whatever we go through growing up, we could choose to see it as a pain, whine and wallow in the valley of despair, or we can see it also as a blessing. I read somewhere that most of the time, opportunities disguise in problems.
True.
But then again, there are those people who are looking at us, how do we handle our pain? How do we handle? So that if they can see some maturity, then they can step in and take us to the next level. And I believe that's where your teacher comes in. And I'm interested, is that why you started A Win Love? Or?
Yes.
So what is A Win Love Kenya and what does it do?
A Win Love basically is an organization. My mom used to be a philanthropist. And I think I took after her. In our family, I will say I'm a philanthropist, and I will say that I'm the most social, and I'm the most at the same time, and that was typical copy-paste of my mom. So while I was working with Father John in Kutoka Network, the things the organization was doing really touched him. And it reached a point now that Father John alikuwa anatoka Busia. I've had this experience. I'm really connected to young girls. I'm really connected to people, to street kids. What do I do? And Father is gone. The organization is, these things that are funded, they come, they go. So that is why I said, I need to start something to continue with this legacy and also to continue helping just people who are vulnerable. So that is now where Awino Love Kenya was born. Awino Love Kenya is born courtesy of my mother. I really wanted to, because me in our house, we never grew on only us. My mom could come to Nairobi, meet somebody, msichana tu, anamwambia mama mimi niko na shida nini, anamrokota, anakuja nyumbani. Anakaa nyumbani anapelekwa sana walikuwa napelekwa training kushona nguo. So that is how I've lived my life. So I really wanted to continue with her legacy and also help people who have gone through what I've gone through. So that at least we don't have that society that when you are ukishapata mimba, because also in Busia County, we are those countries that are leading in issues of teenage pregnancy, if we don't talk about Kilifi and other countries. So I really wanted to talk to girls to just encourage them that kupata mimba sio mwisho wa maisha. Na kama haujapata, pia, it is very, very wise for you not to go what I went through. Just focus on your education first. Every other thing will come later. So that was the birth of Awino Love Kenya. Okay. Yes.
Fantastic. Where did you shift from HR, human resource, to human rights? Did you even practice HR? I'm wondering if you ever even practiced.
I've never practiced HR, but I'm practicing it in my organization.
Yeah.
My shift was, if you're following the flow of my story,
yes.
When I start advocating for girls, that is a right. When I start advocating for women, I train them on their rights. And I think the shift came immediately. Awino Love Kenya was born.
Yeah. Could you mind telling us the year?
2023, Awino Love was born in 2017. Officially.
All right.
Yes. And my advocacy, actually the way I was doing it, I used to be an activist. Mimi nilikuwa ule mtu wa kubeba matawi. Msichana amepata mimba, umemfukuza, mimi natoka.
Beba matawi kwenda
kwa mfukuza kwa nini? Atumepiga mama, mimi natoka.
Yes.
Nampiga kwa nini? But then I got trainings and I really thought I'm more of a solution provider than just making noise. Well, nitabeba matawi. Nikishabeba matawi, what next?
Yeah.
Do I have any solution to offer? I don't have. So with the networks that I've made while I was working with Kutoka Network, I was able to kubeba matawi. Nikishamaliza kubeba matawi, nitamwambia, sasa wewe unataka nini? Nataka kuenda polytechnic, nataka kufanya nini, then I take them back to school. That is when now, after going through the human rights trainings, is when I noticed that I'm not a good activist. But because I provide solutions, I can form policies.
Yes.
So that is how I became an advocate for young mothers, an advocate for the youths, an advocate for women, and also an advocate for men, because I'm a product of a man. My dad raised us so well. And if you're a human rights defender, you don't only defend women or you don't only defend men, you defend each and every human being. Yes.
Wow, so powerful. We did a lot of research about you. I see UNICEF International Junior Ambassador Program, US Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights, Regional Director. I see you are a certified human rights consultant, anti-human trafficking consultant, co-founder the Young Women Founders Network, the Global Peace Ambassador and Menstrual Hygiene Management Ambassador. I mean, maybe if you could mention the organizations I've put and probably one of the key things that you have achieved in them, that will be amazing for us.
You've asked how you've mentioned almost all the organizations that I'm related to. And if you go through that profile very well, you find in one way or the other they are all interrelated. It's basically human rights. And you've asked me my greatest achievement. I have super amazing greatest achievement. One that I'm very, very proud of is setting a safe house for abused girls and women in Busia County. And why am I proud of it? You are a journalist, and almost in news, Busia County is one of those counties again leading with cases of gender-based violence.
Yeah.
And we do not have any safe house for these women and girls who have gone through violence. And what made me to set this safe space? I have these girls that I mentor. I have these girls that I walk the journey with, who go through violation, all sorts of violation. So one time there's this girl who came and told me, my dad has been violating me ever since I was in Form 2. Right now I'm in campus, second year. My dad buys me pants, tells me to put them on and take a picture and send him. Judy, I think I can't do this anymore. You've taught me my rights. I feel like my rights are being violated. What do I do? Then I tell her, can you go and report? Then she poses a challenge on me and she tells me, sasa nikishamreport atanifukuza, nani atanilipia school fees na nitaenda wapi? Mimi sina mama. He's my sole provider. I pause a bit and I'm like, what? Yes. Siwezi nikamchukua nimlete kwangu, because kama nikosa kuachukua, then I will pick the whole county to leave to stay with me.
Yeah.
So that thing really challenged me. So I called a friend of mine. I asked her. Today I've had this girl who was really challenged. And I've been having these several cases, women who are violated, but at the end of the day, they go back to the perpetrator's space because they don't have anywhere to go. And these things goes on and goes on and goes on. So I called Lillian Knight and I told her, Lillian, I want to set a safe house for abused girls and women. I don't know how, but I must have a safe house by the end of this year. That was 2022. Then having friends who will always encourage you is a very, very good thing. You must have friends who are asset, not only in monitoring, but even in helping you in decision making. So from there, that is how we started the journey of setting a safe space. I didn't have money. What did I do? I called a few of my friends. I told them I want to do a fundraiser to set up a safe space in Busia County. And we did it. We had a dinner and we raised over $500,000. Immediately, same Lillian started scouting for a house. We got a house. What next? We paid the house, we furnished the house, and immediately the house is full. And that house, that safe space, has been a blessing to the Busia community because it actually, lately it does not even hold the GBV survivors. Even the traffickers, being at the border, the kids who are being trafficked for labor, sexual, you know. So it has become a home for so many things. The children. Like right now, I have a kid they brought to me, they've abandoned that kid there. Just the other day, I was with the children's department. I'm like, this kid, you gave this kid to me for the last 3 months. Do you even know that this kid is in my safe space? Because according to policies that govern safe spaces, they're not supposed to stay in that space for more than 14 days. They stay there as the county government, or rather as the government tries to find a place that they can place. Either if there's school-going kids, they look for children homes that have kona mashule. So that's wako safe at the same time wanaendelea na masomo. Kama ni mama what you do in our safe, sorry, you don't ask me with this, but let me just bring it in our safe space. For these abused women, we don't just waweka hapo. Ati ulipigwa na bwana, mulipigana, mulifanya nini, whatever, then unakuja safe house kulala. No. You come, we are partner with other organizations like Jenga Jamii, we have the Border Hub, we have Footprints of Hope, we have Power Dada, we have so many organizations that we partner with that give them psychosocial supports, because of course when you've gone through abusive relationship, your mental instability is there. So we partner with organizations that give them the psychosocial support. We partner with Jenga Jamii, who give them grants because we train them on skills. Which we train them some things like this. They make. We train them on making soap. We train them on making baskets like the one I was carrying. So they make, after training them, when they exit, we partner with another organization that can give them grants so that they start businesses. So if you exit, you have a starting point. Because unaweza kuwa hapo, tukikurelease ukienda huko nje, unarudi tena tu kwa ile because hauna kwa kuanza. Maybe this man, because we live in a society that man is the basic provider. So if you don't have these things that man provides, definitely you have to go back. So we train them so that when they exit, wakishapata hiyo grant na kona skills, anaweza kanza biashara yake, and through Jenga Jamii and our train on financial literacy, how you can save, how you grow financially. So those are some of the things that we've done, and for me, it's one of my greatest ever achievement I've ever done.
Wow. Fantastic, fantastic. I could listen to you the entire day. I love even the passion with which you express yourself. I can see how you can organize a coup d'etat to beat me and, carry leaves, but I'll do good to you so that I don't experience that. But I love that you have an end-to-end solution in what you're doing, that you don't just come to the safe space. The safe space is also a hub where we can build you even outside that safe space. That's amazing. And I feel that when even the media doesn't report, such powerful stories, then you go there, you get bored with only crises everywhere. I believe that it's amazing that great things are happening in our country, and especially where people call Bara.
Exactly.
That's amazing. You're doing an amazing job. So, I don't know if you have anything else you want to share that I have not asked.
I have a lot of things to share.
Please share them.
I can have the whole day here if I want to share everything.
Yes.
Just to cut the story short. I do so many things, and actually everything that I do, I'm so passionate. You mentioned earlier that I'm a tourism ambassador under the Ministry of Tourism. Yes, I love traveling. I don't know how I found myself there, but I think it's because of the passion that I have. And this is something that I love doing because my home is Kenya. My home is Kenya. When you call somewhere a place a home, that is a place that you should make it very comfortable for you to be able to live in, and maybe any other person who will come to that place. So I talk about peace everywhere I go. Because without peace, the home will not even be there. Even Kenya will not be there. So when I travel globally, I talk about Kenya in a very, very positive way. And you know what? It has yielded a lot of fruits. Early this year, I was in South Africa for Africa Women's Summit, and people normally lobby for such summits to be hosted in their countries. So while there, we had different countries who had lobbied. Of course, lobbying includes even lobbying financially. I didn't have any money to lobby. But then I said, actually, we were just finishing, and then the countries were listed down, and then I saw Kenya last, and the organizer of the event just asked, of all the listed countries, who can come and defend why we should host Africa Women's Summit 5th edition in their country? I sat and I was like, nobody was raising their hands, and I was like, well, Mr. Balema, I think I have something to say about my country. Maybe it's, I mean, my country is the best place to host this event. So I went and I said, one and the most reason why Kenya should host the next Africa Women's Summit is just one. Kenya is the origin of humankind. It will be an opportunity for you to be able to see where you're coming from as humankind. And everybody clapped. So
including me.
And I was like, wow. And I left the podium. And we finished the summit and everything went. So when I was back after 1 month, I received a letter confirming that Kenya will be hosting the next Africa Women's Summit next year in May. I was, what?
Hooray!
And I did. Actually, I shared it. The first person I shared it was Mary. Mary, do you know we are hosting the next Africa Women's Summit? What? Because while I was going to South Africa, I told Mary, you know what? Kenya is going to host the next Africa Summit. I don't know how, but you're going to host it. So it is always very important for you to stand in for your country and believe in your country, because nobody will believe in even yourself if you don't believe in yourself. So I believe so much in this country, and I believe that we have a lot of things to offer, be it in education, be it tourism sector, be it, opportunity. They are there. It's just like people don't want to think or reason or even become innovative. So we have the best country in the world to live in, to explore and experience in each and everything.
All right. In the industry of storytelling, I hear what sells is problems, not successes. Allow me to yield into that kind of theory and ask you my second last question. In all these amazing and beautiful things that you've been doing, what are your setbacks? What are your challenges that you've experienced? And have you been able to navigate? You don't have to list 50 of them, maybe 2 key, and maybe how you've been able to navigate through. So that at least I reach out to the audience who loves learning from challenges and setbacks.
I just want to state one challenge, and that young people, most so women, will go through. I'm a very vocal person, and I'm one person who believes in right. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong, and I will say it. So the greatest challenge I've experienced is digital. Women, we are being bullied. Somebody sits somewhere, knows my story, knows what I do. I post something or I do something, they hit it back on me online simply because I'm a woman. For instance, people always believe that if a young person or if a woman succeeds, it's always related with, slipping your way up the ladder. I'm saying this because it's intentional. Because I know so many women have always shrunk back from even sharing good things that they're doing, because they know it will get back to them. They will be, it's called sextortion, something. People don't believe that women can do great stuff. Actually, majority. So this is a very, very challenging issue that I've been having. And I really want to encourage young people and even women outside there. Don't shy away, even if people try to pull you down. They tell you, there's no way Judy can be there without, sleeping around, because today they see me with you, tomorrow they will, they don't connect actually what you do. But when they see you succeed, That is when they, oh, that is why she was with so and so. That is why she was with so and so. And this, we are in a digital space. It happens a lot, and I've seen people who have gone down, people who have been depressed, people who are doing very well, being brought down with what we call this digital space. They are cyberbullied, they are called names, and not everyone is. Actually, I break down. At some point, I really break down, and I always wish my mom was there so that I can have somebody we can have a hearty talk. You know? But I just want to encourage women. Don't shrink because you fear somebody will say you slept way up, you did what you did. If you believe in what you're doing, do it. Everybody may stand against you, but your heart will always be there with you. So that is one of the greatest challenges I think I've faced.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I promise not to bully you.
Please don't. Because if you bully me, we go head on. I don't give them that space. You try me, you serve it hot, I serve it hotter.
Fantastic. Maybe you could look straight at the camera and give your advice, your encouragement, your words of wisdom to the person who will be listening to your story.
Wow. I want to make it very short. Judy is a young girl who was broken all odds to be where she is today. Not everybody believes in her, including herself. But the self-realization, determination, and just being self-aware made her to be who she is today. To you young girl, to you lady, a woman, young man who wants to break all the odds, the time is now. And don't let your past determine your future. Never ever let your past determine your future. You can always create or give birth to the person that you want to be. Thank you.
Wow, it's been amazing hosting you. Maybe let me summarize a few lessons I've picked from you. Number one, relationships are an asset. It's important to invest in them, especially in our generation where they have become very expensive. I'd rather Google a message than write something authentic from my heart to you. I'd rather WhatsApp chat you instead of traveling to Busia to meet you and what you're doing, because that is expensive, my friends. Invest in authentic relationships. They are an asset. Number two, change the narrative by changing your perspective. Why? Because people will always talk. Whether you do something or you don't do it, they will always talk. So you know what? Change your perspective, change your narrative, and do it anyway, even if you do it fearfully. Number three, do not just sit. Do something, say something. Change yourself and change the world around you. And number four, leaders are not remembered by the greatest ideas they had. Leaders are remembered by the decisions, the actions, and the results they achieved the moment they were given an opportunity to lead, either by being given an idea, by being given a position, or something like that. They're remembered by the decisions, actions, and results. So having great ideas, but sitting on the couch and doing nothing and saying nothing about it is not going to take you anywhere. Last but not least, our home is Kenya. Let us live in it, let us explore it, and let us experience the magical and the magic of Kenya by the words of none other than our guest, Judy Oricho. Till next time, let us live, experience, explore, connect, and inspire each other in our magical Kenya. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.